Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brigetta and today I'm making Manicotti Florentine. You're gonna need spinach, basil, parsley, onion, manicotti, garlic, parsley, oregano, ground nutmeg, salt and pepper, ricotta cheese, oil, your favorite sauce, 1 egg, and freshly shredded mozzarella cheese. The first steps I'm going to do are chop my onion, my garlic. I also have spinach to chop. I have fresh basil and my parsley, which is going to go on at the end. And I decided to use all fresh versus using dried because we like the flavor of it. And also I'm only doing half the recipe because it's just going to be Mark and I eating this. I want the onions chopped small because this is all going to be part of our filling. So I need it to be able to fit nicely into the manicotti shells. I'm going to use my favorite tool. Chopping works too, but this is so much faster. Okay, now I'm going to move over here. Parsley. I'm going to use this knead tool. Next is our fresh basil, which you could also just tear or shred on your own if you don't have a good knife or something like this. Wow, that really smells good. Okay, next thing to chop is our spinach. You definitely want to make sure these pieces are small because it's going to make it so much easier to fill your manicotti shells. Oops, might have a little bit too much on here. Our next step is to go over to the stove and we're going to cook the onions and then the garlic. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oil. And I'm cooking those first. Okay, now I'm adding my garlic. I'm going to turn my stove off because it's pretty hot. You do not want to burn the garlic, otherwise we have to start over again. Our next step is combining the filling. So since I'm only making half a recipe, I'm only going to use half of my ricotta cheese. Start with that. Next I'm going to add my parsley, which Mark has chopped up for me so nicely. Any excuse to use a gadget. There's a lot inside there. So once you see everything combined, it's going to look like Christmas, red and green. Now you could use a hand mixer to mix this, or you could just do it by hand. Our next ingredient is the fresh basil. And keep stirring. Our mozzarella cheese. Now all the quantities, the whole recipe, will be in the description box like usual. It'll be the full recipe, even though I'm only making half. A pinch of nutmeg. Salt. Now that quantity is up to you. What do you think, Mark? Do you think it's going to need more salt?
Yes, even more in the dry run.
Yep. This is actually the third time I've made it in 10 days. We liked it that much.
It was awesome.
It was. A pepper. Mark loves pepper. All right, 1 egg. Starting to look good. Next we have dried parsley and dried oregano. Here's our parsley, oregano, and our last thing to add is our cooked onions and garlic, which have been cooling. And then, of course, stir some more. We're going to set this aside and we're going to cook our manicotti shells. Now, if you don't have manicotti shells or you can't find them, because sometimes they are hard to find, you could use your jumbo shells. My water's come to a boil, so I'm going to salt it. You don't want to do that until it's boiling because you could scald the bottom of your pot. So this is your next chance to season your food. And like I said, I'm only doing half a package. This is what they look like before cooking. Okay, so now I'm going to drop them into the water. We only want to cook them 5 minutes. If you cook them too long, they're going to be too soft, they're going to fall apart, and you're not going to be able to fill them. All right, but before we start to fill them, we need to put sauce in the bottom of our pan. We're using Rayo's. We like this. This is kind of a chunky mixture. But we like the way it tastes and certainly the way it looks. You could use your own sauce. Just want to cover the bottom. Okay, what I'm going to use is a long skinny spoon for tea. Now you could use a piping bag, and I tried to use a piping bag, but unfortunately it didn't work out so well. But if you are proficient with a piping bag, I'd say that's the way to go. So now we need to dry it a little bit so I can handle it. Then I'm going to start stuffing it. So this might be the part where you want to turn on a movie, play some Christmas music. Now you might think that your pasta is not filled enough, or not cooked enough, but it's going to continue cooking in the oven. This is where I use the spoon and push it down inside. You want them a little overfilled. The hardest part is getting them down into the middle. Keep working it. I've preset the oven to 350, and now the final steps are to spoon the sauce on and then cover it with parsley. So the amount you put on is up to you. Want to spread it around. I like that. Look at the chunky pieces in there, and the color. It's nice and bright. I have made my own sauce in the past, but it's been a long time. Now I'm going to cover it for the first 20 minutes. It's going to cook about 35 to 40 minutes. But we're going to cover it because we want to make sure it doesn't get dried out. All right, I think that's a good amount of sauce. We're going to put parsley on, probably not all of this. So wouldn't this be great to serve Christmas, Christmas Eve? Of course, it's good anytime, but it just looks so festive. Nice. All right. Just going to cover it loosely with foil. All right. Now we're going to put it in the oven for 20 minutes covered and 20 minutes without a cover. Can't wait to eat.
Me too, with these free 20 minutes. I have an idea.
You could clean up the kitchen. How about that? Look at that.
Wow, that looks good.
It's good enough to eat, but it's too hot. So, all right, so I made a little bit of a mistake. I got overly excited and put the parsley on too soon, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna put some Parmesan cheese, because we like Parmesan cheese. It's just gonna melt in there. In mozzarella cheese also. Just sprinkle it all around. Some mozzarella. We're going to let this melt and cool down a little bit. In about 5 minutes, we'll give it a taste. The noodle's falling apart. But look at that cheese pull.
It looks good.
Okay, thank you. So before we eat, I want to make sure to mention that 5-minute cooking time, Mark didn't believe. He thought that was definitely not long enough. The noodles are soft. So
Perfect.
5 minutes, stick with that, because if they are too soft, you're not going to be able to fill them, and then that ruins the whole effect of what we're trying to do here. Of Manicotti Florentine, which means with spinach, manicotti filled with spinach. We ready to try it?
Yes.
I'm hungry.
This is beautiful.
Oh my gosh. That is really good.
basil is fantastic.
So originally the recipe called for dried basil, but we switched it to fresh.
My Italian wife.
And it called for frozen spinach, which I'm not a fan
Yeah,
of
don't
at
use
all.
frozen spinach.
But if you do,
don't.
make sure to wring it out
This is
so
incredible.
it's as dry as possible. Oh yeah.
This is like, this is fantastic.
This is really good. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and you can hit the notification bell so you'll know the next time that I upload a video. We hope you liked it. We'll see you next time.
I'd run 1,000 miles if I could run with